Because we're back tomorrow with 4 more games, headlined by Newcastle at Arsenal, Brighton at Everton, Leicester welcome Fulham, and Manchester United at home to Bournemouth. Then on Wednesday, huge game at the bottom, Southampton Forest, Spurs are at Palace, Villa against Wolves, and West Ham go to Leeds. And of course on Thursday, we have the champions Manchester City away at Chelsea for you as well. If you're a Brentford supporter anywhere around the world, we'll stay on this picture for you for a while. If you want to take a shot of it, please do, because look at that. Brentford into the top 7, 26 points from 18 played, just 2 behind the team they've just beaten, 4 off Spurs, and as I said earlier, 6 off the top 4. Liverpool have missed the opportunity to go above Tottenham and into the top 5.
Andrew, how disappointing is that as a way to start the new year?
Yeah, hugely disappointing. First half nowhere near good enough. Everything we worked on we never done. They were first to second balls, we gave away cheap set pieces. We knew they were a set piece team, really good at corners, so much more aggressive when the ball comes into the box, and unfortunately we didn't do that. You find so much more aggressive when the ball comes into the box, and unfortunately we didn't do that. You find yourself 2-0 down at half time against a good team, you know, a team that believe in what they're doing, full of heart, full of desire. Second half we came out, we tried, obviously got a goal that got chopped off and it gave us belief, and then we scored quite quickly after it, 2-1, pushed. But yeah, I don't think any complaints can be about the result. They deserve to win. They played the better football, especially in the first half, and yeah, that's why you get a result like this.
It's one of those things, watching from the outside, it's impossible for us to explain how there can be such a difference between first and second half. Can you put your finger on it at all?
Yeah, well, we in the second half we started having runners in behind. The first half I don't think we really found any balls in behind in terms of trying to stretch their last line. We know they played 5 at the back, but we also know they want to try and defend forward. That means there's space in behind. No one offered a run in behind in the first half, which you know, when that doesn't happen, then you don't stretch the back line, and then everything becomes compact, and that's why then they started winning second balls and started putting a huge amount of pressure on us. Second half we offered a wee bit more, we started going in behind a little bit and started causing them a wee bit of problems, and yeah, especially the first 15 minutes, but you know, you can't come here and play well for 15-20 minutes and expect to get a result, so that's why the result is what it is.
It's not been the start of the year you wanted, it's not been the first stage of the season you wanted. How optimistic are you about the rest of 2023?
Yeah, look, it's, you know, just now it's kind of, it feels as if we're taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back. You know, we've spoke all the time about we're trying to get consistency and things like that, but when you put in a performance like that, you know, consistency goes out the window, unfortunately, and yeah, we have to pick up results, we have to win games to try and climb the table, and you know, obviously the new year's not started the way we wanted it to. It's been a tough result, a tough one to take, but you know, all we can do is keep going and trying to find that consistency, because if we don't, then you know, we'll be in a position in the league come the end where we don't want to be. It's simple as that. So we need to find consistency, we need to find it quickly. I don't know how we do it. You know, the lads, we all need to look at ourselves, we all need to look as if we're giving ourselves, are we giving 100% every single game, and if we start doing that and if we start fighting, you know, it's not a lack of fight. You know, we fought in the second half. We have to move on. Like I said, New Year's not started the way we wanted it to, but I suppose the only thing we can say is, you know, hopefully it can only get better.
Very honest, thanks Andy.
Thank you.
Very honest from Andy Robertson. One of 3 changes from Jurgen Klopp incidentally at half-time. The first time the Liverpool manager has ever made a triple substitution at half-time in the Premier League since he took over. Didn't mince his words there, Andy Robertson.
No, he's always honest with his appraisal. And it's refreshing to hear, actually. I mean, I started the show saying that I fancy Liverpool to get into the top 4. After today, it's a little bit of a worry, but I still think they're one of the 4 best teams in the
But consistency is the word he used.
But consistency. There. And the worst thing is, well, after 16 games for Liverpool now, they're now out the title race. They can't win the league, really, can they? And that's something that you think Liverpool, after the recent years that they've had, they've always taken it to the wire. They've won it. They've always been up there challenging. And after 16 games, we're all talking, can they get into the top 4? Can they not? It's a real big worry for them. And, you know, that, of course, they're in other competitions, but the Premier League is what you're judged on. It's what they want to win more than anything.
The foundation of Liverpool was built on that defence. You know, Alisson and Van Dijk. The foundation of Liverpool was built on that defence. You know, Alisson and Van Dijk coming in. That front 3 was there. They were brilliant. But the difference was Alisson and Van Dijk coming in now. Liverpool conceded more goals than Everton. Same amount of goals as West Ham in 16th and 17th. That tells you all you need to know. At the top of the pitch, okay, they've got a few injuries, conceded 3. So the issue is defensively. They look so vulnerable, conceded 3. So the issue is defensively. They look so vulnerable. And I think Jurgen Klopp will be worried. They get no pressure on the ball in midfield. They're very vulnerable when the ball comes into the box. That was an eye-opener. I think I'm with Michael. I thought they would be a top 4 team. But today, you're worried. They're missing their best player, even Tony, and they still conceded 3. So they need to tidy up defensively. I don't know how they do it, if they play a bit deeper or be more aggressive. But that's not the Liverpool that won the Champions League and the Premier League.
Let's have a look at the goals then, because the first one was a little unfortunate, as you said, at half-time, but the basic principles are still the same in the vulnerability.
Yeah, they are. No matter what, you've always got to be aggressive. When the ball's coming into your box, you've got to fight for your life to make sure that ball doesn't go into the back of your net. And we spoke about, set pieces. We've spoken about the 3 goals. They had 2 disallowed as well from corners. So it was there for all to see. Let's have a look at the goal again. I mean, it's a fascinating setup, actually.
Yeah.
We'll just forward it into that position there. At the back post there, in a tiny little area of the pitch, we've got 8 players. 8 Brentford players all in this area here. It's a strange one, because then when we just forward it to when the corner kick is taken, not one player is in that same zone. And when we stop it just in a moment, there we go. So ball's about to come in and there's nobody in that same position. They've all gone into the areas that they need to be in.
Because they're trying to work this space. It's funny, actually, because they all start at the back post, basically saying, we're not going to go to the near post. But obviously that's where they're working to, isn't it? To get the ball into this area. And if we just run it on a tiny bit more, they're trying to get it to there, because they know how they have the bodies in there, Mo, and they've got the overload, which in the end causes a bit of chaos for Konate, because he actually can't see the ball.
It does, and it's a zonal. You've come out into that area, and there's only one man in that area, and they were going to get a free shot as well. So I'm not quite sure of the setup. Yes, there was a bit of luck with the goal. It came off Konate. He wouldn't have seen that. He would have just felt it, and it's very unlucky, because the only part of the goal it does go into. And it's very unlucky, because the only part of the goal it does go in is right into the bottom corner there. No players on the post for Liverpool either. That's a question mark.
Yeah, and we should be mentioning a name, Bernardo Cueva. Who is he, you ask? He is Brentford's set-piece coach.
Well, he might be going in for a raise, I think, after today, because he was brilliant.
This was Liverpool's own downfall.
I mean, I'm just surprised Alisson's playing that ball into there. But credit Brentford. That you make a few mistakes, they punish you. And it felt like that back post area, Mo, was always vulnerable for Liverpool today.
It was where Liverpool scored their goal as well, but crossing the ball onto the back area. And I don't know, I do feel that there was a few mistakes. Within the goal. Normally, you have 2-3 mistakes within a team to concede a goal. I certainly could see 2 obvious ones with this goal here. Let's have a look at it again. We'll play it slowly. And again, what I'm quite interested in is Harvey Elliott is the man that makes the first mistake. And we pause it here. Here he is. He's about to make a run into this position here to get the ball, which is quite a strange one, sort of running past Thiago. And you noticed something, Owen, as well. See that? We just having a look back there. He takes a look over his left... See him having a look there over his left shoulder. Right. Yet, all of a sudden, he doesn't at all have a look over his right shoulder and then plays an over. It's quite incredible.
Yeah.
He can't possibly see the picture there.
Well, that dummy alone got him subbed. Because you don't make a mistake like that in a game like this against a well-coached side. It's not a great ball from Alisson, but that dummy alone almost invites the pressure. And, if we run it on, you'll see instantly a turnover possession. That will infuriate Klopp. You see Van Dijk, he's get his hands up there. And again, Brentford, they're there, and they're realising, right, Liverpool got a lot of bodies at this near post. We're going to work this. Yeah. We're going to work this to that back post. I mean, the one thing I wanted to mention was...
Konate there.
Yeah. Owen. If we keep an eye on Konate...
He's pointing, isn't he?
Yeah, he's pointing to Trent Alexander-Arnold, because he's saying, you got to take Vissa, because he's going to come work himself into this area. But the one player that causes a bit of chaos is here there. Once he runs into the area, it creates a little bit of an overload. And obviously Konate picks him up there. Trent is not sure, does he go with Janot or does he go with Vissa? And it just causes a bit of chaos. But once the ball gets played in...
Yeah, I'm going to stop it again, though, because see where Trent goes, Trent Alexander-Arnold, he cannot vacate that area. He's with his man. He's quite close to Visser. He's got to get in front of him there. This ball here is the least of his worries. That ball, when it comes in, that ball to this man is the least of his worries. He's got another second to let the ball go over his head, turn and sprint at his man.
But Mo, I've been there. I think that's one of the hardest positions to be when the ball's on the other side as a fullback. I'm looking across, I'm looking at the ball, I've got my man, I know he's there, so I'm thinking, he's there. Once you look across, I know what you're saying, you're right, but he's thinking, I'm getting a lot of criticism defensively, I'm going to stick with my guy. I can see him, rather than, you're right, this is the problem, isn't it? The one there.
Absolutely. The problem is the man that heads the ball. The problem is the man that's in the middle of the goal about to score a goal.
That's one of the hardest positions to be when the ball's on the other side as a fullback. I'm looking across, I'm looking at the ball, I've got my man, I know he's there, so I'm thinking, he's there. Once you look across, I know what you're saying, you're right, but he's thinking, I'm getting a lot of criticism defensively. Stick with my guy. I can see him, rather than, you're right, this is the problem, isn't it? The one there.
Absolutely. The problem is the man that heads the ball. The problem is the man that's in the middle of the goal about to score a goal. If the ball goes over your head, the ball goes over your head to that man now, as we can quite clearly see. You've got ages and ages to turn. You can pick up the flight of the ball long before it gets there. You turn, you go and close your man down. He might be lacking confidence, he might be lacking whatever, but that's just the basics of defending. You've got to defend your box, you've got to defend the danger men in your box. And sometimes people will get caught out of position. You've got to go and fill in. You can't leave a man just empty and unmarked in the middle of the box.
Very interesting thoughts. High time we got those of the Liverpool manager. Here he is, Jurgen Klopp.
And you set standards. How far below those standards did Liverpool fall tonight, particularly in that first half?
I'm not 100% sure. I understand where you're coming from. The problem is we played here last year. 3-3 was a wild game. This tonight was the same, was as wild as that. So if you compare these two games, it's not too much different, to be honest. We should have scored twice before they have the first corner. They are very dangerous with corners. They put everything in. The ref doesn't help you in these moments. They stretch the rules, holding, stop blocking, and in the end they do well. And we score our own goal. Yeah, the next goal is from a set piece as well. We get away with it, and then the next attack that's what they do as well. The intensity they put in, the effort they put in is outstanding, and respect that a lot. But apart from that, we should have scored tonight, obviously, an awful lot of goals as well. We were pretty much, when we were direct, when we had the runs in behind, we were pretty much always very dangerous. I think first half, the chance Darwin has, the chance Costas has, the chance, I'm not sure with Virgil if that was offside or not, but they are really big ones and well played as well. So that's obviously, but in the end it became the game they wanted, much less the game we wanted, obviously. But then you have to keep going. So you can come out of half time and score immediately, pretty much with a sensational offensive action, the 2-1, but then it's slightly offside. But I'm not sure, a minute or two later, we scored a goal, which was absolutely great, a good face, and again, because we played him behind their line. And then, yeah, we had to keep going, and obviously that's really difficult. Both teams suffered a lot. You could see that it was really hard for all the players on the pitch. We have a few options, but now not too many in the moment to enforce our attacking area again. So we have to try to do it around a little bit, and in the end we didn't come through. And then the third goal, come on, it was how he whistled the whole game, and then he wanted to see that goal as well. I don't know exactly what he's thinking there, player. Can only whistle that foul, not if you never got a push in full sprint. And obviously refs don't get that, thankfully. So because otherwise you would know that's a clear foul. Very smart, but it's a clear foul. So 3-1. That's the story of the game.
As you say, last season was eventful. Tonight was so eventful. 3 goals disallowed by VAR. So much going on. How difficult was it to keep track of everything that was going on down on the sidelines?
Yeah, it's not my job to do that. I'm not sure if it was difficult or not, but it's, of course, what we cannot see if it's offside or not, or these kind of things we cannot see. But the set pieces they put in, how is that? They really go to the limits with all body contact, moving players under the ball and stuff like this. And the only offensive foul in the box we had tonight, which is really funny, after a set piece. But yeah. we cannot change that anymore. Again, we are not happy now with the performance or whatever, but it's we fought back. But how I said, it was much more. If it's offside or not, or these kind of things we cannot see, but the set pieces they put in, how I said, they really go to the limits with all body contact, moving players under the ball and stuff like this. And the only offensive foul in the box we had tonight, which is really funny, after a set piece. But yeah, we cannot change that anymore. Again, we are not happy now with the performance or whatever, but it's we fought back. But how I said, it was much more the game they wanted than the game we wanted.
So one of the things he's unhappy about amongst all that is the conceding of the third goal. He felt it was a foul on Ibrahima Konate, making just his second Premier League start of the season. What do you two think?
No, not at all. Look, they built their team on being physical, being aggressive. That's not a foul. Konate's got to be stronger than that. He's almost twice the size of Mbeumo. I don't think that's a foul. It's a minimal push, I think, from Mbeumo.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why he's bringing it up. You try to make any excuses when you lose, but on balance, I thought the referee probably got it right as well. A little nudge, but it is a contact sport. You're allowed to nudge slightly. I didn't think it was a full-on push, and I certainly didn't think it was enough to push Konate over. Let's have a look at it. I mean, it's Liverpool in possession. Yes, they're chasing the game, but they give the ball away in the central area. Naby Keita gives the ball away, surrounded by players, and all of a sudden, you think to yourself, in this situation, Owen, it's not dangerous at all. It's 4 against 1.
No.
What can they do? But of course, what they do is knock a ball over. It's another problem area for Liverpool that they've been conceding goals from.
And you think Konate as well, with his athletic ability, he can deal with this. You know, whether it's athleticism, he just underheads it, and basically he puts himself under pressure. That's all that happens. He underheads it. Really, what he should do, he should just take it with him and maybe go down the line. It's too close to pass it to Alisson.
Yeah, if it was 0-0 or if Liverpool were winning, he wouldn't have done that, would he?
No.
They're chasing the game, they're trying to keep possession. They don't really want to hook it out of play. It's not got enough power on to head it back to Alisson. So it's in one of those phases of the game where you're taking risks, and the risks didn't pay off.
OK, let's get some Brentford reaction. What a night for them. One of their goal scorers, Johan Visser.
Well done. How special is it, not just to win a game like that against a team like that, but then to celebrate it as you just have with your supporters?
Crazy. We know Liverpool is one of the best teams in the world. So if you want to beat them, you have to be 200%. So I hope the fans enjoyed it, but we worked so hard, and it's because we stay together, and that's why we have this result.
Does it feel like you're living through just an incredible journey, an incredible story, and we don't know yet where it's going to end? You keep getting better.
Yes, because now we know how the Premier League goes, so now we have to be humble, stay humble, and just to be together, because we know how Premier League goes. But it's a good journey so far, so if you want to keep this, we have to keep working so very hard.
Only playing, of course, because of that injury to top scorer Ivan Toney. Made a really good point there, Owen. How do they keep doing this? They keep getting... We mentioned the Arsenal game and then the highs of last season. They've gone again this season, and then they've probably got the best result of all tonight.
I thought he used an interesting word right at the end of the interview, humble. You know, he said we have to stay humble. They're a very humble side. There's no real superstars in there. They play for each other. You know, they're hardworking, they're compact. You know, again, we said they're not a possession-based side. You know, you think about everybody wants to have all the ball all the time. These guys just play to their strengths. You know, they play very direct, long balls into the channels, and they're effective. That's one of the most effective sides in the league with the pieces that they have. It's a very well-coached side and a good, humble team.
Yeah, memorable night for Brentford. But let's finish with Liverpool. Where do they go from here in this search for consistency that particularly Andy Robertson was talking about? Well,
they've been searching all season, really. Very inconsistent season so far for Liverpool. I still believe they're going to be very competitive, but competitive in an area that they're not really, you know, we shouldn't be talking about. Top 4 should be a given for this team, for this manager, for this set of players. But now we're all going to be debating, are they going to get there, which is not good enough for Liverpool. They're out of the title race, in my opinion, after 17 games. And that's just not good. I think once they saw... I think Liverpool are not so much a team that you can say, oh, their defence is playing poor, their attack's playing poor. I think the collective is when they're attacking well, when they're closing down well, it takes the pressure off the back four. And I just don't think they're working well as a unit at the moment. Their midfield's not pressing. Too many times opposition midfielders have got the ball, lifting their head up, and then everybody's vulnerable. So I think it's a whole team thing that they've got to get going again. And it'll only be a little spark and they'll be back off. But for the minute, their season, or their Premier League title-chasing season, is over.
Credit Brentford. They deserve that. They've only lost 4 games. Liverpool have lost 5. You know, that wasn't as big a surprise as we thought.
Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. As always, a step backwards for Liverpool, but the understatement of the night might be that the bees are buzzing. What a night for Brentford. From the 3 of us, we'll see you soon.